Some of our top stories here in Florida just blow your mind. And I have to say, I believe the 90s had some of the craziest crime stories ever. This particular story is no different. This is about a killer clown. Check this out.
From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work, we will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love, thank you for your support, and more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you. God bless America, and more importantly, God bless our victims.
Hey guys, Bullhorn Betty here, and we have another story just for you. This is a little wild, a little creepy, and it has the it factor, but not the it factor that you're thinking of. It has the it factor, i.e. Stephen King's It. Florida's convicted killer clown has been released from prison for the murder of her husband's then wife. That is correct. It sounds like this lady and the man had an affair that they both denied, and then after his wife was killed, she ends up marrying him, and many years later is convicted of murdering her. This is a wild tale of one evening. A woman who pled guilty for dressing up as a clown in 1990, murdering of wife of a man she later married, was released from prison just this past Saturday, ending the case that has been strange even by Florida standards. Sheila Warren, she's 61 years old, was released 18 months after she pled guilty to second-degree murder for the shooting of Marlene Warren. Florida Department of Correction records show the plea deal came shortly before her trial would have started. Warren, who has maintained her innocence even after the plea, was sentenced to 12 years in prison. But she was also in prison for 7 years. And according to the sentencing guidelines and the gracious credit provided back in the 90s, it left her with less than 2 years to be in prison, and why she went ahead and did the plea deal. Sheila Warren will always be an admitted convicted murderer and will wear that stain for years to come, for the rest of her life, according to Palm Beach County District Attorney Greg Rosenfeld. Warren's attorney has said she took the plea deal because she would be released in less than 2 years and had been facing life in prison if convicted at trial. We are absolutely thrilled that Ms. Keene has been released from prison and returning to her family. I beg to differ. She obviously has some homicidal tendencies. Marlene Warren's son, Joseph Ahrens, and his friend were at home when a person dressed as a clown rang the doorbell. He said when his mother answered, the clown handed her some balloons. After responding, "How nice," she was shot in the face. Palm Beach County Sheriff's investigation had long suspected Warren in the slaying, but wasn't able to arrest her until 27 years later. That's when there was improvements in the DNA testing, which linked her to the car. At the time of the shooting, Sheila was employed by Marlene Warren's husband, Michael, at his used car lot. Since 2002, she has been his wife. They eventually moved to Abington, Virginia, where they ran a restaurant just across the Tennessee border. Witnesses told investigators in 1990 that Sheila and Michael were having affairs, which both denied. 1 year later, detectives said a costume shop employee identified Sheila as the woman who bought the clown suit. And one of the two balloons, a silver one that read, "You're the greatest," was sold at one of the public supermarkets near Sheila's home. Clearly, they had a circumstantial case against Sheila, one that 27 years later was supported by DNA evidence. So she would have actually, in my opinion, been convicted of this crime at trial, and her attorneys did a great justice for her by her only having to spend 2 additional years in jail. I personally feel that this is an injustice. This is an injustice for the mother that was gunned down. It's just sad. I feel that it's an injustice for Marlene's family and Marlene herself. She was innocent and she married the wrong guy. And that's the crux of this case.
Let me know your thoughts. Do you remember this case back in the 90s? This is wild. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you feel like it, please put a comment in below about what you remember. God bless.